working. Sometimes it doesn't work right away.
Yeah.
And that's why I like to sort of dance.
You're like, when's it gonna go?
Is it starting? We don't know. So were you born in Toronto?
Yeah, I was. And then my family moved out. Well, we lived outside of city before. And then when I was 6, we moved to East. Pretty much grew up in East.
Awesome. Is this the kind of music you listen to usually?
Yeah, I think I would. Yeah.
All right. Sorry, one more minute. We're going to check here. Super slow.
Yeah.
Okay, we're live. All right. Go do the wave. All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Food, Mood, Attitude, where we talk about all things eating psychology, mindful living, wellness, health, food, of course, and so much more. And welcome to the 4th episode of Food, Mood, Attitude. And today I have a really, really special guest. She's someone who I've wanted to have on my show for a while. We were both part of this wonderful project called the Expansion Project Live, which was in May. And I got to know Toby a little bit during that experience. And I'm just really thrilled that we can have this time today so that all of you can understand more about the awesomeness of Toby Hana Lucas. So let me tell you a little bit about her. So Toby is a self-described professional giver. Aren't we all? She's an explorer, an open heart, and a warrior of love and wellness. I love that. Her journey on the road led her to many adventures that have influenced her to share the wonders of life that she's learned. And after being diagnosed with endometriosis, her travels took a sudden stop to the journey of connecting back to her body again. Through this experience, Toby studied Kundalini yoga, which we're going to talk about today, found the magic of essential oils, which we'll also talk about as it relates to the endometriosis, and dug in deep to find what healing from the inside out was all about. She helps bring awareness to how one feels in their body through Kundalini yoga, meditation, Reiki healing, and essential oils. And this is something else that I just want to mention, which I think is so cool, that Toby also speaks sign language. And when I was in high school, I desperately wanted to learn sign language, and it was really hard for me. But she can also read your body language, so I got to be really, really careful about how but I want to hear about that too, because that's fascinating to me. So welcome, Toby. It's great to have you on.
Thank you so much, Jenny. I'm so honored and excited to be here. I know we have talked about this, and I'm just so excited what we're going to dig into today. Thank you.
Me too. So you have quite a bio there. Can you tell me a little bit more about what brought you to the field of wellness? Was this in your studies in college? Was this something that you learned later? It sounded like after your experience with endometriosis, you sort of delved into it a little bit more and researched and sort of brought you to this place of wanting to teach others. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
For sure. So exactly what you said, it was really through my experience with endometriosis that I was, when they say coming back to my body, like that's exactly what it was. So I was in a lot of sports and athletic, but I was not aware of the health and the wellness component of being in your body and using that. And so it wasn't until I really was sick with endometriosis and I had to figure out what the heck's going on here. And that really led me to the wellness components of being in your body. Mm-hmm.
And what did you do before that experience?
For work, I was in the education system for a long time. I worked with special needs, and I went to school for American Sign Language, English interpreting. I always had a fascination with strangely enough, communicating with your body. And for me, it's interesting you mentioned that sign language was tough for you to pick up, because for me, it was the opposite. It was, you show me a sign, and it was like, I got it.
Wow. I was like, it's so intricate, you know, you have to like really, yeah.
There's like, a lot of times people will mix up, this is the letter D, and when they go to, I don't know how well you can see that, and then a lot of people see that and they'll actually do the opposite. They'll put up these 3 fingers and put this one down. So there is a way that we are processing that information, and the movement of sign language is what I love. Because I think when I move, and so that's a part of understanding how our body's feeling, is because I think better when I'm moving.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Also, like, you know, I work with body image and mentoring with helping people feel more comfortable in their skin. And I've never thought about sign language as a way, you know, first of all, we communicate through sign language, but we're always constantly communicating with our bodies by how we move, right? And I think that is a fascinating way to really understand both of those you know, genres of like communication and feeling comfortable in your skin. I always felt like, so I was obsessed with the movie Children of a Lesser God. Did you ever see this movie?
Absolutely. One of my favorite things.
I was obsessed. And so like, that's when I started to be like, I've got to learn this. It's such a beautiful language. And whenever I watch people sign, I'm like, it's beautiful. It's almost like, it's almost like it's almost like a secret language, because, you know, it's not like one of those languages like, you know, Spanish or French, where if you learn the root, you're going to just get it, you know. Like, I don't speak French, but I learned Spanish, so I know a lot of the same words. And with sign language, it's a completely different, you know.
It is. Like, but once you have the gesture, so because sign language is not universal. That's kind of a myth that's out there. It's very regional, actually, because that's how it started. The language started with all these like individual roots everywhere. But there's something very natural in the way that there's verbal cues, audio, verbal. What am I saying here? The visual, there we go. The visual cues that are the same. So when you squint your eyebrows down, like you're asking a question. That's a natural thing that we all do. It just depends on the degrees. Or the leaning forward when you're waiting for an answer. Like a yes/no question, our eyebrows always go up. Do you want some water? Huh? Or where are you going? It will automatically go down.
Huh.
And we all do that naturally. Yes. It's just our own personalities of how much you're going to be expressing that.
So, did you kind of come into that at the same time, learning the sign language and also understanding body language, or was that a separate sort of journey for you?
I did study body language with the sign language in university, so that's definitely a part of, because when we're interpreters, we need to relay those messages and those cues. But I didn't really pay attention to my own body's cues or the importance of how much our body is saying, maybe more through pain and not so much outward, but the internal dialogue of what our bodies were saying. I didn't learn that till I was sick.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. So how early were you diagnosed with endometriosis? Like, when did you start having symptoms of it?
I first started symptoms when I was actually living in China. So my first 2 years with the endometriosis was undiagnosed and in a different country, in a different medical system. So I'll give you a little story of how the disconnect of what happened. So I was teaching in China. That's what brought me over there. And one day during a class, a student asked me if I was okay, and I replied, "I'm fine, thanks." I was thinking he was practicing dialogue, right? This is what we do. And he said, "Oh, are you? I'm good, but like, are you really okay?" And he pointed to me, And now I'm like, huh? What, you know? And at one point, I had actually grabbed a chair, and I had curled over, and my leg was shaking. And I'm sitting there rocking. And I was still teaching the class. It wasn't until this kid and now the rest of the class really looked at me that I found help. And I was like, I'm not okay. I'm like in a lot of pain here.
Huh. And you didn't even realize it.
Didn't even realize it.
Wow.
I was still continuing. I was sitting there rocking. So it was like this, that's how massive my disconnection was. I had normalized the pain to a point where I hadn't recognized it.
That's really powerful. Like, you know, it's funny. Like, I just wrote a whole blog post about, you know, emotional pain, but this is true for physical pain too, that we do tend to dissociate because pain is, you know, as human beings, we seek pleasure and avoid pain. And so we can come up with like clever ways to sort of distract ourselves from physical or emotional pain to the point where we're not even cognizant or aware that it's happening, or we build up these coping mechanisms for them. And it sounds like that's what you were doing, and like completely unbeknownst to yourself. Like, it's such a powerful way that your body protects you, you know, and your brain protects you.
It's quite fascinating, to learn how much it's like your body is so there for you, right? It's like sending you so many messages to let you know, to take in information for surviving and thriving. Like, and it's like, oh yeah, there's lots of ways we ignore those messages.
we do ignore it. And so when he sort of brought that to your attention, this person, did you all of a sudden, like, I picture almost like you just squarely jumping into your body, being like, oh my gosh, you're right, I'm in terrible pain and I've got to do something about it? Or was it more subtle than that? Like, what happened at that point?
Exactly what you just described. It was like I could see myself sitting on the chair rocking, and it was like, and then it was coming back, and it was like, yeah, whoa, this hurts a lot. Like, what do I do? And within a few moments, I made the decision. I was like, I have to go to the hospital. This is a lot of pain, man.
Wow.
And
that's unbelievable.
but we didn't figure out what was going on until I actually came back to Canada. And even then, it was diagnosed, and I was given treatment, like a treatment plan, basically just medication to take. And I took it, and I went back to China and had this epic adventure plan where my best friend and I were going to be walking the southern belly of China. Big, really big. We got a couple weeks in, and basically the pain started again. And I was like, now what? Now what? That's what I was stumped. I was really shocked. What do you do now?
What do you do? So I'm dying to know, like, what did you do? Like, in that moment, like, what can you do?
I was still in denial that it wasn't as bad as, it was just like, it's not that bad, it's tolerable. Because I really wanted to stay on this trip and I didn't want to deal with it, essentially. So I traveled and worked in a hostel for a couple months, and then finally made the decision to come back home. And I knew by doing that, I had work to do. Like, I knew that it wasn't as simple as now just taking a prescription. Like, I had to find out, what is endometriosis and why do I have it?
Yeah, I mean, I have quite a few friends who've had it, and it's debilitating and it's painful. And I've had friends who've had surgeries. I don't know if you've had surgeries for it, but you know, it's no joke. It's pretty intense. And so I would love to hear from you. You talked about how essential oils sort of played a role in healing to some degree, and I would love to hear some of all the different ways that you were able to start healing yourself and sort of feeling better and tolerating the condition more.
Okay, great. It really begins with a Kundalini yoga class that my mom suggested that I go and check it out. And so we went together in a nearby town. And when we walked in, the teacher was sitting there dressed in all white and wearing a white turban. And it was a white guy with a long beard. weird that he was dressed like a Sikh. And it was like, I had never really attended a yoga class before, but in my mind I knew that this was different. This was like, hey, wear the leggings, you know.
Wear the Lululemon top.
You know, like this was not what I was expecting. And the class itself, through really simple exercises like the movement and the breath work, I had not experienced anything like that before. And the effects of what it did, like every class was different. It got me to pay attention to how each little part of my body would feel. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the effects were sometimes I would laugh. I would be doing exercising and just start laughing. And it was like, why? I don't know what's so funny here, but it feels great.
Wow.
Or sometimes I would cry. And then it was like, this is awful, right? And then each class just moved my body and my mind and just got me to take that moment to be there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I love yoga too. I used to not like it because I was very much like goal-oriented with exercise, meaning if it didn't burn a ton of calories, what was the point? And when I started to do yoga, I did hot vinyasa yoga. And, a lot of the same things that you're describing, like just the mindfulness of how does my body feel right now? What is it like to breathe through discomfort? What is it like to move in ways that are not necessarily intuitive for me? And like how I learn so much more about my body that way and build trust and communicate better. But I don't know, can you tell the audience, and for me also, what is the difference between Kundalini yoga and other types of yoga? So you mentioned like, the headpiece and the long white outfit. Is it, what other differences are there? Because I don't know much about it.
So there's, the classes are made up of kriyas, which is like the posture, the exercise kind of part. And there's so many of those. So each class is different. That really focuses on the chakras. So Kundalini is called, also known as the yoga of awareness. Because the Kundalini is the energy that we all have at the base of our spine. But often it's dormant. It's not stimulated. And when it's stimulated, it will actually coil. So this is why a snake is associated with Kundalini a lot. Because it will coil up your spine, awakening your chakras. It goes through your energy systems.
Wow.
And it's bringing you, to the universal, the divine, the God. And it's bringing an awareness that you possess the same. When we breathe in the prana, which is life force, everything alive has a life force. And it's bringing awareness, a teaching to you're breathing that in because you're made up of prana, of life force. Mm-hmm.
That is so beautiful. And there's some vocal work with it too, right? Because when you were at Expansion Live, I remember you doing some vocal sort of exercises. Is that right?
Yeah. That's right. A big part of like a component of Kundalini is the mantras, which is, I want to say Sanskrit. And the essence of what a mantra is something that you chant or say. And when you do that, you're stimulating your nerves in your mouth, mostly at the top of your roof of your mouth, with your tongue. So as you're saying this, or on your teeth, and that's creating a vibration to stimulate the nerves, which is making a connection in your mind. So there's a pattern there, and when we repeat that pattern, we can have clarity, calmness, insight to information.
And that's probably just what you needed to sort of understand and to deal with some of the pain you were experiencing, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I still, I was attending Guru Fast, was my teacher, and I attended his classes for a few years, and then I wanted to go on further to know more of the science behind it. So why you do certain positions what the effects are. Scientifically, what's happening to your body when you're doing those kind of breaths or that position, right? Because it's all putting different, it's all about angles. You're putting pressure on this to elevate that to, right?
Right.
So I went on to do my teacher's training for Kundalini yoga, and through that class I actually met someone who knew about essential oils. So that's how that ties in. Mm-hmm.
Isn't it beautiful how like you pull the string and then it leads you to all these other places, right? And you never really always know where it's going to lead, but for you, it was the beginning of a tremendous healing process for you, and also brought you to, to understand what you wanted to do with your career and what you wanted to do to help other people.
Right. It's really kept pulling. I like that image of the string. Because it's still unraveling.
It's always unraveling, right? So you got trained in Kundalini yoga, and then through that process you met up with somebody who, I guess, specialized in essential oils. And then what was your experience with that? How did you...
So they brought some oils to one of the classes and was sharing with someone. So I kind of, jumped in there and I was like, they smell good. What is this? And she came up to me and said, they might be good for endometriosis. In fact, you should take a look. And I was like, yeah, why not? All right, I guess I could kind of try a few and see. And she wanted me to kind of use them in a really different way. Then when I know essential oils to be is aromatically, right? So they smell good, they make us feel nice, right?
Yeah.
But she had recommended that I take it internally with the doTERRA essential oil. Yeah, because they're a different standard of testing, so they guarantee that it's safe for internal usage. And it's like, ooh. So she recommended frankincense.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very powerful for helping support inflammation. So, yeah. You have a question?
No. I'm gonna write these down. Maybe we can at the end add it to the show notes, like the specific kinds that you recommend for various conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I do now. I do consult for people to find out what their needs are, emotionally and physically, to have these tools, these really natural tools. It's so powerful. Like, we use essential oils like in meditation and in the yoga, but to use it for our physical bodies, to support your immune system, like that's pretty powerful. So on this one, it was a few drops underneath my tongue for frankincense.
Oh,
and then I did that morning for a few months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a sublingual kind of.
I actually did pull my tongue back. I keep it in the bottle and just kind of drop. I feel it, 1, 2, try not to get 3, and then kind of swish it. I can take a drink of water and then usually I brush my teeth. So I keep it by the bathroom because it's incorporating into a new habit. That's the biggest thing. Is I had to integrate them into my life. So you use very little, but frequently.
Okay.
And then you take a break so your body doesn't rely on it. The chemical compounds of essential oils are so complex. That's the beauty of it, that we're not going to have a rely on it. So you use very little.
Okay. Sorry, continue. Yeah. So, what are the other types of essential oils that really helped you? So you used the frankincense. Was there anything else specifically that helped you?
Clary sage.
Clary sage?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Clary.
Sage. Wow, okay.
Yeah, clary sage. So I use clary sage on the inside of my ankles. This is getting interesting, right? And the bottom of my feet. And the reason it was inside of my ankles is that's the reflex point for the reproductive system.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
And because it's right there, close to the bottom of my feet, I would put some on the bottom of my feet because that's the thinnest skin in your body with the most capillaries. So the oil can get absorbed into your body really quickly. And all of a sudden it's there.
And is there like so it's related to the reproductive system, but is there healing properties in the sage that can like, is it what's the word, like a pain reducer, or like what is it exactly that it's doing that is supporting you in that area?
Sage compounds are quite amazing for balancing hormones.
Okay.
So women love this oil because it just helps balance what you need. The plant compounds are really clever. So I like just comparing it to a birth control in a sense, if it's regulating your estrogen levels, because that's what clary sage is great at balancing, is if you have too much of this estrogen, right, because there's a few different kinds, it's just going to balance out to what your body needs. So it's very grounding, comforting the smell, and it's a stable hormone balancer.
Awesome. Yeah. So you started to do the yoga, you started to use essential oils. Did you make any changes in your diet or in the foods that you ate?
That was huge, because that actually was probably the first. So when I first came back, it was like, okay, research what endometriosis was, and what's the next, like what's the thing that I can grab onto the most to start evaluating. And so I took a food journal. And was just writing out if I noticed I was like coffee was really hard. That was one of the first things I needed to take out. So removing that, how am I feeling each night? Like I made a rating system.
That's smart.
On pain level. So I got to see, okay, this was a really bad day. What did I eat? What did I eat a couple days before this? Like, is there any patterns? What am I eating a month ago that's making me feel in this cycle? How am I feeling? So lots of journal work. That was big, yeah.
I think that's so important. Like I have people sometimes journal with respect to what they eat and how they move that day, just to like have them, and also like I'll have them write down like ate a snack, was anxious, or something just happened, like so that they're really clear on what's driving the feeling or the behavior and their desire to eat, right? So I see that as sort of similar. It's like, how did this food make my body feel? And okay, that's good to know for next time. I need to avoid this, or this, I should have more of this. And it's just a very great way to like really be working with your body, as opposed to just feeling like you're falling prey to whatever's happening inside you, you know?
Right. Taking back that control.
Yeah. And so where do you stand now? Like how are you? Like how often are you in pain? Like what's, if you don't mind me asking, like where?
Oh, great question. Love sharing this part. I'm pain free. I have been pain free for the last few years actually. And my doctors, there's no signs of endometriosis. Like
that's unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm it just feels very renewed. And that's why when I look back, when I look back at such a different person, like I need to remember her because she's important to where I am now. And that's actually the motivation of continuing to share this message, continuing to empower others to find their own health journey, right? Because it's so possible. It's so possible. Like, I could have given up. Like I said, it was work. But absolutely worth it.
That's unbelievable. Like, what an amazing story. Like, I had a woman who I interviewed last time who was a period coach, and she was telling me a lot about how she was suffering with horrible, painful periods for so long. And I know endometriosis, it's not similar to that, but it probably does get worse around your periods, right?
Sure.
And she was sort of talking about her healing journey and the different things that she did. And it's always like, for me, it's so powerful when people sort of take charge of their health in a certain way, knowing full well that there may not be, like a panacea, like a perfect solution, but that you're open to the exploration and the discovery piece, and to know that there's going to be ebbs and flows and there's going to be trial and error to see what's going to work and what isn't going to work, and that it's worth that journey, and it's worth that, everything that you go through to get to the place where you are now.
Absolutely. It's so worth it. And I love how you said the ebb and flow, because it's not consistent. It's not this direct route, but it's exactly what you said, which is being open to the exploration of what's coming. And it doesn't all come at once.
Yeah.
And we don't always keep what we find. I know, right? Like sometimes our focus needs to be here, and that's where we are. And so we let go of maybe a healthy habit that served us, but we no longer do every day. And that's okay. So knowing where we are in that space.
Yeah. That's amazing. And I'm sure you inspire a lot of people with that. So speaking of which, tell me a little bit more about your practice and about how you serve people. Like, so I know you've recently made a switch from the Kundalini yoga more towards a focus on essential oils. So tell me what like a session with you would be like.
A session with the oils. So I connect with them in person if I can. If not, then we go online, because that's the next best thing, right? And I go through a series of asking them questions, a little bit like an interview, but focus about their health and their needs and what they're looking for, like what, then helps me assess what would be best matched and how to incorporate now these tools, these natural tools of essential oils into their lifestyle. And then guiding them through, and then I become available for them with resources and information, because it's kind of ongoing of what you learn with the oils. I know for me, I absolutely love studying the plants, like the botany, but I don't expect everyone to do that, right? So that's why I have that knowledge. And then when you say, like, I'm really struggling with this, is there an oil for that or something? I can say, yes, there is, and this is how you use it. So providing that service is really where what I love. Yeah.
And so what are some of the things that people conditions or concerns or problems or health issues that people come to you with?
Yeah, it can range from sleep. I'm having a hard time sleeping, because that's huge. It can be the anxiety that may be, like we keep going roots down. So maybe they come to me for sleep, but really there's a layer of anxiety here. Or maybe I'm fatigued all the time, and I have no energy. Okay, let's look at that. Why? Or my digestion is, totally thrown off. I have stomach aches all the time, or my, movements aren't healthy, or so I've had lots of inflammation come up. That seems to be such an underlying theme. Inflammation, right, and stress. So it can be mentally, emotionally. There's something not balanced, or physical pain, muscle cramps, like even just backaches and things. And I like to bring awareness to things that we've tolerated for so long that now we don't even think about, because that's where I go back to, right?
Exactly.
I mean, the endometriosis didn't start in that classroom. Like there had been, how long had I been in that state before that classroom, before that class, right? So people and that's what I do by spreading the message. Is I want people to say, have I normalized this, or am I wanting to change it? Can it be better?
Yeah, it's a lot of times people will say to me, like, I didn't know I felt so bad until I started to feel better. And I think that's so interesting. It's like we're not even aware of what good feels like or could feel like, because we have normalized and we've just sort of accepted that we just don't feel good. And I think a lot of people do that. Plus there's so many layers of like muck and distraction and stress and, outside influences and things that like prevent us from like tuning in, right? Yeah, prevent us from being like, what's going on here, and like, could it be better, and what can I actually do, and how can I feel empowered to try different things versus just to deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how you just said tuning in, because that reminded me of Kundalini. At the start of every class, we tune in. And it's like you're logging into your computer, right? There's a password there. So what we do in Kundalini is we come to the prayer pose, which is your two hands placed in front of your heart. And that's the neutral position of balancing your left and right side of the body, and your male and female, your yin and yang. And so you can even just like rub your hands together and pull it apart and feel that energy in that space, right? And so we tune in right in the middle like that.
That's amazing. I love that. There is an energy there, isn't it? It's like immediately. And so you also love to travel, I understand, right? So that's like, you lived in China, and you actually just spent a month, I think, in Asia, correct?
Really lucky. My husband and I traveled there for about three and a half weeks. We were gone. So we did China, kind of cut through, and discovered the Kaifeng Jews, the Chinese Jews that were in a city living there.
That's amazing. Can you tell me more about that experience? Because you had said like you like to talk about travel as it relates to people sort of challenging themselves and taking risks, right? To get in their sort of uncomfort zone, if you will.
I think travel is so good at discovering who you are. Yeah. Especially if you go by yourself. I do encourage the young folks to do that.
The youngins.
The youngins. Because on each trip, so this past one, I got to connect with an amazing roots of my own. So being Jewish and going to China, discovering the Chinese Jews, and my husband's Chinese. So that's a bloodline that when we have kids, we would tap into. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, okay, who are these people? What's this history? And the more we examined, the harder it was to find information. It was very almost lock and key. So being who we are, that just made us more curious to go, and brought our film equipment and
So what was the biggest takeaway from that trip, and what you learned spending time and learning and researching this subset of the Jewish people?
My biggest takeaway was you just trust. It was the confirmation of trusting the universe, of going where you needed to go. And we know so much when we go into that space of being open and being thankful for just being here, because we were really guided. Like, we didn't have communication with the Jewish community till we were in the city. And up at that point, we didn't know who to, we didn't have a contact. We had zero response, and it's a big Chinese city. And we were really guided. Like, things just opened up and clicked. I don't know if you know that, when things are just working out, kind of that serendipitous.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Oh, okay. And you're going with it, and that's I love that about travel, how it's like, there's so many things that could have blocked, but you know that you're in the right place at the right moment, and connecting to the right people, and then just unfold.
Yeah. I love that too. So I actually just wrote a post about structure versus spontaneity. And with travel, there seems to be like two different types of people. People who love the structure, everything's planned out in advance, to the car rental, the hotel, the restaurants they're going to, the places they'll visit. And then there's this whole other camp of people who let's just go and see where the wind takes us, and like we'll just see what we do. I'm kind of like a hybrid. I like to have like a little bit of understanding about what I'm going to do, maybe what cities we'll visit, but I love this idea that you're talking about of like, you know, the universe will guide us. Like, oh, there's a cute little cafe here, and like, oh wow, there's this like street performer, and let's go see what that's about. And you know, discovering interesting neighborhoods and find, oh wow, there's this like street food here that I, you know, never would have noticed before. That kind of stuff.
Right, absolutely. Just taking that in. Just being guided. I feel like you're stringing together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love hearing stories about like meeting other Jewish people from so far flung in so many other different parts of the world, and everybody observes in a different way, and everybody has a different cultural background, and how that can be all intermeshed and interwoven, you know, together. I love that. I see your little your Hanukkah in the back there.
Yeah, that's great. I have that.
That's really beautiful. All right, so let's talk a little bit how we can connect with you. So I know there are going to be a lot of people watching this, and I want to make sure they know how to reach you and they know how to connect with you. Let me first go onto your website, just so I can have people see what that looks like. It's a beautiful website. So it's called Blue Opal Wellness, right? That's what you're...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to shut this off because you're all like warped there. Okay. So Blue Opal Wellness. So you do Reiki as well. Are you certified in Reiki as well?
I do. I have my level 1 and 2. So I do have a studio locally, so we can connect physically. I have a studio from my home that I work out of.
And you're outside of Toronto, right?
Yes. Sorry, I should say that. Thanks, Jenny. I am in Cambridge, Ontario, so that's about 45 minutes to an hour outside of Toronto.
Okay. And I see you also do hot stone massage. I've always wanted to try that, actually.
That's a lot of fun. I need to find someone who can do it for me now, but it's great.
I might have to take a trip just to get some hot stone massage from you.
It's quite blissful. So I have a full set of stones. So you're actually covered with the lava rocks, right? And so the heat therapy that goes into your body, and then I'll massage your body when it's warm. So it's getting really nice and deep into your muscles. And of course, I incorporate the essential oils when I give a massage. So we do it that way too.
It sounds so relaxing. Like I want to be there right now. And I love that you're ACL friendly. This is great. So here's some information about how you could book an appointment. You just have to go to blueopalwellness.com. And you do some virtual work too, right? So for people who are, you could do some essential oil work with those people too, right?
Yes, absolutely. So I do free consultations, actually. So if they wanted to book like a free 15-minute consult, you can just do that by contacting me over on my website as well, or on Facebook. Toby Hana Lucas is where you can find me.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. And before we finish up, is there anything else you want to share with the audience watching, listening today about you and about how you serve people, how you want to help people, and so forth?
Well, thanks Jenny. This has been so much fun to be here and talking and sharing. And that's exactly what I want to keep doing. So in person and virtually doing the oils and the massage, I'm sharing more on my story, so moving into that, being a public speaker and going to events is definitely where I'm moving into. And then, of course, the oils are a part of me and part of my story. So it's just really sharing that more and empowering others to then look at their own story and own it, right?
Yeah, I have to say I'm really impressed by you. I'm really inspired by you. I saw you posted on Facebook something really personal and really brave recently, and it seems like you're just growing and you're growing every day, and like and every time we grow, that's another way we can support other people, right? Because we're all on a journey, and I'm very inspired by what you do. You're so, you have so many, I'm going to call you a Renaissance woman. You have so many different facets to who you are, from the cultural piece and the documentary stuff that you're doing, and the essential oils and the Reiki and the Kundalini yoga and the sign language, and I could just talk to you for hours. My goodness.
That's wonderful. That's so sweet.
No, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you came today. And anybody, if you have questions about essential oils, this is your girl right here. Definitely get in touch with her. In the show notes, I also have dropped her website link and social media links so that you can visit her on Facebook and so forth there as well. And so happy you joined us today. And stay tuned, everybody, for the next episode of Food, Mood, Attitude. I hope everyone has an amazing Tuesday. And we'll catch you on the back end. Let's just jam out to some music on our way out, shall we? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right. Bye, everybody.